if you could meet a more happy person. And I don't mean that I'm one of those stupid people. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. I don't mean I'm one of those people who just pretends to be happy all the time and like, oh no, that doesn't bother me. I get real mad, I promise. Okay? I have road rage sometimes. So I'm a human. I'm very normal. But I don't know that you could find a more happy person than me. I am very, very happy with my life. I'm very happy with the work I do. If I could go back and meet my 17-year-old self, first of all, I'm sure I would think I was a super dork and be like, really, that's what I became? But I'd be like, dude, it's all good. It's all good, right? So I want to talk a little bit about some things that happened to me that helped me get here today. And believe it or not, this is really about vision writing. Okay? So I read a book by a guy named Robert Fritz. I think you should write this down. I don't think you should read it today, but I think you should make a note to read it before you're 30. It was called The Path of Least Resistance. Why did you say, huh?
I said,
ooh, look, I can't write. By the way, that looks like toast. So if you don't read this book before you're 30, please write a book called The Path of Toast Resistance.
Already on it.
Okay? Fritz was he's a musician by training, and he had a lot of friends in the art world, and he noticed that those friends had like really great creative lives, but their personal and professional lives were often poor. And so he started asking questions about why is that. And what he discovered in that process was that the process they applied to creating in their life was not the same process in their art world, was not the same process they created in their life. Right? So they deployed what he called problem solving to their lives. Okay? Problem solving is bad. Okay? And they deployed a process of creating in their life. That's good. Am I making sense so far? Here's the difference. You have a problem. You're a teacher and your class is too loud. By the way, that almost never happens anymore because students get on their cell phones instead of talking to each other. But it used to be, when I was teaching, early in my career, I had to say, be quiet, a lot. Your teachers hardly ever say that. They say it formally. So if your class is loud and you're problem solving, you will do some things about it. You'll tell that kid to be quiet, and you'll tell that kid to be quiet. You might move those two apart, or you might put them together because they're talking across the room. And the problem will start to disappear. So what will you do with a problem that's disappearing?
You'll ignore it.
You'll what?
Ignore it.
You'll ignore it. What will the problem you're ignoring do? It'll return. It's a vicious cycle, right? And he talks about this, and people do this all the time. People do this with weight loss, right? I want to be a little lighter, so they focus on it, and then they get a little lighter, and then they stop focusing on it because now they're okay with it, or at least they're less mad about it, and then they have a problem. So he said instead you should be creating, right? And you create by using something he calls, and this is the thing that changed my life, tension, resolution system, or systems. And he points these out, and he says these occur in nature. They're very natural. The world does this. We do this when we're hungry. Okay? We're making sense? Okay, here's how a tension resolution system works. First, you have a vision. Right? Maybe the simplest example would be a glass right here. And I wanted to drink from that glass. So what do I need to do if I want to drink from that glass? I didn't pick it up, but I didn't tell you there was anything in it yet.
You said
I got a glass. Did I say there was anything in it? Okay. I got a glass, there's nothing in it, and I want to drink from it. What do I need to do? I need to fill it up with something, right? So now I got a vision of a full glass. By the way, full glasses don't look like that, because the water would not be waving like an ocean. That drawing is meant to show liquid. Excellent. Okay? Vision. Then you have to judge current reality. Current reality is that. Not gone, right? So what do I need to do? I need to act. Right? By the way, he says, Fritz says, this is the essential element of the tension resolution system. It's like a giant rubber band. Like, here's a rubber band. Okay? And then when I set the tension, this is rubber band number 1. Rubber band number 2, when I set the tension, will look like this. What's that rubber band want to do?
come together.
It wants to come together. He says, once you set this, the vision coming to fruition is just like it's a given. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Right? Now, that's not true for every vision. If I had a vision to be the next quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, like, can we all agree that vision will never come true? Huh? No. I could not. I'm a 49-year-old, not terribly athletic, definitely not strong man. I could not do it. It is not possible. Right?
Because I'm not the league for a 49-year-old non-athletic man.
Say that again.
Not football league for a non.
But I said the Indianapolis Colts, and I was like referring so. I just want to point out that I'm not saying anything is possible, because I think the anything possible movement is like worse than like just being like some things can happen and some things can't. Now, I do believe it's reasonable to pursue an unreasonable dream sometimes, because if you don't, then like nobody becomes anything. Like, right? Because there are things that will happen that aren't supposed to happen, or that people don't think can happen. And by the way, you can only prove that something's possible. You can't prove that it's impossible. Right? And you prove that something's possible by doing it for the first time. Nobody's ever done it before. So you do it, and now it's possible. Right? It's not possible for humans to levitate. Well, I can't prove that it's not possible, but I can prove it possible by levitating for you right now. But by the way, it's currently not possible. But that doesn't mean it's not. And I know that you're coming up with one example of one thing you can prove impossible. And there probably is one, but not very many. So, current reality, got it? So now we need to take an action. Okay? I want to drink out of the cup. It's right here. What are you doing?
Taking your picture.
Why?
You're presenting.
Why?
Don't have anything else.
Okay.
It's rare to see you doing work during those.
That's right.
Okay.
It's possible.
So, you're going to take some sort of action. I've got a glass sitting right here. Everybody got that? And that glass is currently empty. Okay? Here's my action. Tell me how I'm doing. How did I do? I didn't? Why not?
Pick it up.
I didn't? So I went over there and turned on the water with a cup right here, and I didn't get the result I wanted. Okay, so this is an important element here. I took an action. And then I have to evaluate that action, right? I don't think he said it like that, though. What did he say? He probably said, really? He probably, oh, no, that's it. We're looking for feedback. Okay? Our feedback is that the action didn't work. How should I feel about that? Should I cry?
No. That's a petty thing to cry over.
Be encouraged to try again.
I should just try again, right? Fritz says when you fail in a moment like this, that and his company uses the 5-minute rule. You can whine and complain and point the finger at others for 5 minutes, but then it's time to shut up and get back to work. I really like that. Kind of acknowledging emotions is one thing. I don't think you should deny your emotions. I think when you feel bad, you should be like, "Well, I feel bad. Huh. I should do something about that, right? I should take another action." Are you with me? Everybody want me to take another action?
Yeah, sure.
You be you, man.
All right. How am I doing?
Horrible.
Not that. I mean, you're closer.
You rinse
You have
the cup.
a wet glass. There might be a few droplets in there.
I got water on my hand.
You rinse
Work
it.
out, right?
You were supposed to fill it.
You're going to just keep doing this over and over and over and over and over and over. And eventually, I won't waste any more water, but eventually you're going to do it in a way that works, right? You're going to put this under here, you're going to turn it on, the water's going to fill up. You come over here and take a drink out of that nasty glass. Am I right? Does everybody see it? Yes?
Well, no, because you didn't do it.
I mean, do you see the ideas here?
Oh, sure.
Okay? So, I'm here to talk about vision writing, but I wanted to point that out to you because I'm not lying. I read this book, I probably was in my late 20s, and I really liked it. I started reading other people around him. They call themselves, I think, the structuralists. So the guy named Peter Senge, who wrote a book that got more famous than Robert Fritz's book. I kind of wonder how Robert feels about that. But it was a lot of business people read it. It's called The Fifth Discipline. It's a really good book as well. You don't want to read it until you're 30, maybe. It's a high school kid would find it boring, probably. I would have, for sure. So all of that, though, is about this vision feedback loop. Okay? So, what's the most essential element in this thing that I just told you about? The vision. Right?
Can you pause there for 1 second?
No doubt about it, yes.